A dangerous trap for human beings is falling into the search for love. This is something very serious. If you are looking for love, it is crucial that you stop immediately and start valuing yourself more. In this video, I will explain in more depth how you should behave from now on. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever found yourself in an intense search for love, believing that it would fill a void and complete your life? Society often places love as the ultimate goal, the pinnacle of human experience, and the magical solution to all of our problems in life. However, we suggest that this incessant search for love may actually do more harm than good in finding true happiness and contentment. Today, we travel back in time to examine the wisdom of the ancient Stoics, a school of philosophy that flourished in the 1st century. The basis of their teaching lay in the knowledge that wise men live in harmony with the divine reason that governs nature. The Stoics offered remarkable insights into our emotions, especially when it comes to love. They believed that our emotions should not dominate our lives, but rather be understood and controlled. How does this relate to our current search for love? Now you will understand the fundamental principles of Stoicism and why the Stoics argued that we should not pursue love. As we explore the historical perspective on love, it is essential to understand the views of the most influential thinkers of this period, who contributed significantly to the interpretation of love. These thinkers believed that love was an inherent and vital part of life, but they warned about the danger of becoming consumed by it. Like other emotions, love should be moderate and controlled, not becoming an obsession that takes us away from the path towards virtue and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and devoted philosophical scholar, expressed similar sentiments in his renowned work Meditations. He emphasized the importance of maintaining control over our emotions, reminding us that we have the power to shape our perceptions and emotional responses. Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, taught that our peace of mind depends on the ability to distinguish what we can control from what we cannot. Although we have no control over the love other people feel for us, we can control how we react to those feelings. At the heart of Stoicism lies the concept of preferred indifference. This refers to aspects of life that are neither intrinsically good nor bad, but can contribute to a good life when used wisely. Love, according to the Stoic perspective, fits into this category. Love is not, in itself, a virtue nor something intrinsically harmful. It is something that can add value to our lives, but it should not be our ultimate goal or determine our happiness. This vision is truly revolutionary, especially compared to narratives that often teach us that love is the ultimate source of happiness and fulfillment. However, the Stoics argued that true peace emerges from within, not from external factors, not even from love itself. But what do we mean when we talk about not chasing love? Basically, pursuing love means making the constant search for a romantic partner the ultimate purpose in life. This involves an incessant search for love, often at the expense of other pursuits related to personal development. When we constantly pursue love, we are looking for someone to complete us, satisfy us, and give meaning to our existence. At first, this may not seem like a problem, since love is a beautiful and enriching part of the human experience. However, a deeper analysis reveals that this mindset can lead to a number of issues. First of all, love puts our happiness in someone else's hands. When we pursue love, we often associate our self-esteem and happiness with our status in a romantic relationship. When we are single, we can feel incomplete or a failure. The Stoics argued that this is a misguided source of self-worth. For them, true satisfaction comes from within ourselves, rather than being sought from external factors. Love often places us at a crossroads between authenticity and emotional dependence. The search for love can be a beautiful and enriching journey, but we cannot forget that we are whole individuals, with valuable internal resources that go beyond relationships. The Stoics teach us that true self-reliance and self-worth reside in our ability to find contentment and happiness within ourselves. When we understand that we are the origin of our own well-being, we achieve a healthy balance between romantic love and self-love. By recognizing our intrinsic value, we become stronger, more complete partners in our relationships. However, by focusing excessively on the search for love, we can neglect other crucial aspects of our lives, such as personal development, exploring passions, and cultivating friendships. We can become so absorbed in our pursuit that we lose sight of our individuality and the characteristics that make us unique. It is important to remember that the search for love should not consume us to the point that we lose our own identity. Each of us is a unique collection of dreams, talents, and experiences. Therefore, as we seek meaningful connections, we must not forget to nurture our own essence, value personal development, cultivate passions, and nurture enriching friendships. Not only does this make us more well-rounded people, it also makes us more attractive and interesting partners to those we meet along the way. The journey of love is equally a journey of rediscovery and celebration of our own uniqueness. Furthermore, the unbridled pursuit of love can lead to unhealthy relationships in which the overriding goal is simply to be in any relationship, ignoring warning signs, and accepting unsuitable partners. It is crucial to remember that the search for love should not lead us to harmful commitments. A relationship is not a shortcut to happiness, but rather a complement to an already meaningful life. By prioritizing quality over rush, we can create space for relationships that truly nourish us and make us grow. Recognizing warning signs and establishing healthy patterns is an investment in our own well-being and building the foundation for authentic, enriching connections. Love is an important part of life, but it should be shaped by wisdom, mutual respect, and self-esteem, not desperate need. Therefore, we must seek love with discernment, valuing our own integrity and dignity. Pursuing love unbridledly can result in a never-ending and unsatisfying search, where we are constantly chasing the next relationship without finding satisfaction with what we have at the moment. It's important to remember the lessons of Stoicism about love, which teach us to appreciate it when it's present but not cling desperately to it when it's absent. We must love without getting attached, recognizing that all things are fleeting. These Stoic lessons guide us toward a healthier, more resilient approach to love, encouraging us to appreciate it when it is present but not make it the sole source of our happiness. Love should be a part of our lives, not the entirety. This may seem counterintuitive in a world that encourages us to pursue our goals with relentless determination. However, Stoicism gives us a more balanced approach in the first place by not chasing love. We can develop deep emotional resilience by decoupling our happiness and self-esteem from the presence of love in our lives, thus achieving an emotional stability that remains constant regardless of whether we are in a relationship or not. By decoupling our happiness from love and relationship status, we open the door to remarkable emotional resilience. The ability to find joy and self-esteem regardless of external circumstances is a remarkable achievement that allows us to face the inevitable vicissitudes of life with serenity and strength. Cultivating this emotional independence enables us to face challenges and obstacles with a clearer mind and a lighter heart. So, as we release the pressure of the endless search for love, we discover an even deeper love for ourselves and the world around us. True emotional resilience is the most valuable gift we can give ourselves and becomes the solid foundation on which we can build healthy, meaningful relationships when the time is right. Secondly, by giving up the unbridled pursuit of love, we make room for self-realization. It's simple to fall into the trap of believing that we need someone else to complete us. However, Stoicism argues that we are already whole beings capable of finding satisfaction within ourselves. By stopping chasing love, we can devote more time and energy to personal growth and understanding our own passions and interests. We learn to find satisfaction within ourselves, becoming more self-sufficient and resilient. This path of self-discovery and self-realization leads us to a fuller and more fulfilled version of ourselves. Ironically, it is when we become more complete internally that we are more prepared to share genuine, healthy love with others. Therefore, embracing the pursuit of self-fulfillment is the key to becoming the best version of yourself and building truly meaningful relationships. Remember that transitioning to a non-love chasing mindset is not an easy journey. It requires introspection, patience, and ongoing commitment. How then can we apply these Stoic principles to our everyday lives? Here are some practical guidelines. Self-love is the solid foundation on which we can build healthy, meaningful relationships. Instead of desperately searching for love outside of ourselves, we should dedicate ourselves to nurturing the love that resides within us. Practicing self-care, our interests and passions, and building a life we truly value empowers us in profound ways. When we realize that we are whole beings capable of generating our own happiness, we become more attractive and resilient in our relationships. The love we cultivate for ourselves is reflected in the connections we build with others, making them more authentic. Always remember that you are already a complete person, and the love you seek outside of yourself is a beautiful compliment, not a desperate need. Therefore, cultivate self-love and allow it to light your path in the search for meaningful relationships. Self-awareness begins by recognizing and reflecting on the patterns that lead you to endlessly seek action and love in relationships. This is the first step towards change. Embracing solitude can be an opportunity to get to know yourself better, reflect, and grow. Dedicate time to being with yourself and learn to enjoy your own company. Patience is a virtue that is often forgotten in a world of instantaneity. However, when it comes to love, patience plays a crucial role. Allow love to unfold naturally, without rush or pressure. Remember that the most precious things in life often take time to develop. By taking a more serene approach to love, you are giving space for connections to deepen and blossom in authentic ways. Patience is not only an act of trust in the process, but also a sign of respect for yourself and others involved. By allowing love to come at its own pace, you are building the foundation for stronger, more lasting relationships. Therefore, be patient, trust time and destiny, and be open to receiving love when it arrives, as the most beautiful things often happen when we least expect it. When entering a relationship, keep Stoic principles in mind. Maintain your independence, don't make the relationship your only source of happiness, and ensure there is mutual respect and understanding. Emotional resilience plays a key role in the journey towards self-love and healthy relationships. It's not about repressing or denying your emotions, but about learning to deal with them in a constructive way. Stoicism teaches us not to allow emotions to control our actions and choices, but rather to understand them and respond with self-discipline and discernment. This enables us to maintain balance, even in challenging times, allowing us to make more thoughtful and respectful decisions, both in relation to ourselves and others. By cultivating emotional resilience, you are building solid foundations for healthy, lasting relationships in which effective communication and mutual understanding can flourish. So remember, your emotions have value, but you have the power to direct them constructively, becoming a stronger, more compassionate partner. These are significant steps towards a healthier, more balanced approach to love. Remember, this is a journey, and there will be difficult days, which is perfectly normal. Change takes time, but with each step you take, you move closer to a life characterized by emotional resilience, authenticity, and healthier relationships. Stoics value love, appreciating it when it is present, allowing it to depart when necessary, and always maintaining inner peace and self-disrespect. In the words of the renowned Stoic philosopher, the serene and tranquil man is not the one who runs away from things, but rather the one who dominates them. We should aspire to become masters of our emotions and our lives. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Stoicism and your perspective on love. If this content provided you with value, please consider liking and sharing it so we can create more. Remember that personal improvement is a journey we all take together. Thank you, and see you next time.